So this is really what Shantideva is saying here, is that the root of all the paramitas is working with our mind, and in this case, overcoming the mind where there's never enough. Then poverty could end. So this is pretty radical way to think, and very powerful, and definitely worth deeply contemplating. Okay, so now verse 11 is about the second paramita, the paramita of discipline. And last night I talked about the 3 disciplines, and this one just deals with the first, which is not causing harm. Okay?
Where indeed could beings, fishes, and the rest be placed to shield them totally from suffering? Deciding to refrain from harming them is said to be perfection of morality.
So morality is his translation here of the word discipline. So basically, again, the skeptic is saying, well, you have this code of you're going to follow the 3 disciplines and let, in this case, not cause harm, live by that. And so how come then that there's still so much harm in the world? And he uses the example of beings and fishes, animals and people are still being harmed every single day. And Shantideva's answer is the same answer, actually. He's saying we work with the mind that can justify harming another being or an animal. That's what we need to work with. He's saying if everyone in the world took a vow to refrain from harming others, it isn't actually that you'd be able to pull it off right away, but if that was your heartfelt intention, if everyone in this room took a vow that our intention for the rest of our life is to not cause harm, it would be quite a training ground every day of our life to figure out how to do that. Because it's not always so clear what's going to cause harm and what's not going to cause harm. But let's put it this way, at least you're asking the right questions. I mean, he's saying here, if everyone in the world had as their heartfelt wish to not cause harm to any animal or any person, he said, then everybody in the world would be safe, because no one would be harming anybody. Now, of course, there'd still be earthquakes and hailstorms and tornadoes and volcanic eruptions and things like this. It's not like you can get away from all harm, but we're talking about how we harm each other. And it'd be interesting to statistically see how many deaths come from natural disasters as opposed to us killing each other, and how much suffering comes from getting cancer and so forth, natural things, as opposed to the suffering that we impose on each other by causing each other harm. And I think the implication here is the majority of what we call suffering and anguish on a daily basis in our life, we cause each other. Every single one of us, all of us sitting here in this room, are examples of the rest of the world. Is everybody comes from the reference point of me. And so the tendency towards self-absorption and me first is very, very strong. So he's saying here to decide to work with your mind, a mind that decides to not cause harm. That will take you beyond self-absorption and into this groundless, positive groundlessness. But to just, go by a fixed code of ethics and live, there's a series, a column that says virtuous acts and unvirtuous acts, and you just live by that, you can still be doing a lot of harm. You're just basically keeping the ground under your feet very nicely by being a good person in the eyes of society, and therefore you yourself can feel fairly comfortable on a day-to-day basis because you're measuring up. Well, believe me, the Bodhisattva gets to the point where they don't know what measuring up even is. Codes of ethics don't make sense anymore. But if you just say something like, I take a vow to not cause harm, and I'm going to figure out how to do that, then that would be the essence of the paramita of discipline. So that's what he's saying. Okay, so 12 through 14 are